Hey everyone, I wanted to share with you how money works. How many of you, first of all, if you see I'm sweating because I am working on a transformation about money, I want to clean up my own inner system so I can make a better decision when it comes to money. But then I thought of sharing with you just few things about money that I know that it helped me to understand, and also I hope it's going to be helpful for you. So money, there is three type of money, and it's if you start looking hot money, cold money, or hard money. So we'll break it down pretty soon, but let me take you back to the history. What happened in 19 around 950 54 BC, around that time in Egyptians and not Egyptian, in Greece and Greeks, they came up. So Greeks came up with this idea about the money, currency, how it works. Back then there was barter system. If you are farmers, you're a farmer, you grow your crops, and you have those that. Let's say in 10 years that you have done a good season, you had a good product, but then after 11 years something happened, bad weather, you didn't have a good product. But then what happened, those farmers back then, they borrowed money from the rich people around that time, and they had to return that money back. But then that whole debt and the interest was planted around that time. But now let's take you back in after World War II. What happened after World War II in wood system, something called wood system, where a few countries, around 40 countries got together. The country's leader in New Hampshire, called Wood System. That time they wanted to create a gold-backed currency, meaning countries put their gold and then they decided this is how we are going to have our own currency. So you can see the government came along to help that people, that way rich people, 1%, 2% cannot suppress that common people. So wood system 1970, what happened? It broke down. The wood system failed, and then people started printing money like crazy, and then let me tell you that around 1960, there you may heard about a story called in Virginia, that they had tobacco. They used tobacco as the tobacco as currency, because people in the state of Virginia, people needed to buy certain things, and they figured out if those people who has tobacco, more tobacco, they can buy goods or services using that. So certain people got very lucky with that, and then as it come back to demand and supply. So you can see that state of Virginia, not everybody can everywhere grow same amount of tobacco. So then what happened? Government had to come in and save the people, then create some kind of rules and regulation to know good quality tobacco and bad quality tobacco. So I'm going to introduce you a new word called fungible. So tobacco was one of the fungible product. So it has a good and bad, and then also the certain area of that area could not grow enough, and then demand and supply, like I said, there was a way. If certain people was controlling the demand supply, and then government had to create those regulations to protect the people, so that way not one part of people are playing monopoly on tobacco. But it was money. So hot money was people who had more tobacco back then in Virginia. That's hot money. And people had less tobacco, and they did not have hot money. But others are trying to either get the cash money, the real cash, I mean, printed money, fiat currency, what we call it, from the US dollar. So let's say, the dollar, people who had a dollar, that was hard money, they are good. And then hot money was people who had more tobacco. You can use either money to make your trade. So what happened? Then demand and supply. More and more people started thinking, hey, I can put more and more so that tobacco and save it and flood in the market. And then at some point, as more people got conscious about the tobacco, they ended up flooding more tobacco, and then supply was way more than demand, and then that became cold. So you can see that tobacco is not truly fungible. Certain people use the technology. So we use that whole idea of that technology, we grow better quality of tobacco and flood it more. So technology became obsolete. So you can see technology makes a huge impact of tobacco. Now, now that you understand the hot money, cold money, and hard money. Now let me give you another example. What happened in Europe, and not in Europe and Africa. If you look at the history in West of Africa, back then they used to have the beads, that beads that they put around their chain neck. That beads, the glass made beads, is very hard to find and grow. So started in west part of Africa, they saw these people did not have enough those beads made, and then they are using those beads as their currency. So if you look back history, that in Africa, not everywhere same technology. So technology took an effect of that currency and the money. Now go back. Let's take you back to Europe. Certain push of Europe had the better technology than that part of West Africa. So they ended up finding out that, hey, now we can use those bits to do the trade in Africa, and then they will be wealthier. So what happened? Slowly, then European came introduced in West Africa, doing buy and good services. Slavery started. That's how slavery started back then in Africa. So even today, if you look at a lot of African culture, they use those necks around it, beads, but there is certain portion of beads is very rare to find. So again, government had to come into the picture, apply rules and regulation to have control the demand and supply. So European cannot continue taking advantage of that money. So let's get back, take you back on the story. So long story too short. Later on, that they figured out there is certain portion of those baits is controlled, and the quality of those baits is purple quality, and it's very hard to manage, very hard to create, and European did not have the technology to do it. So again, is that baits also control the currency, money control. The hot money was whoever had more baits, whoever produced more baits, and whoever controlled that demand was control the demand, and the supply in the market was bad, not enough. So hot money, cold money, and hard money, people who had the money back then in Africa. So you can see the technology, the trust with the government, that knowing the good quality and bad quality, and the people who is not aware of it is going behind. So when it comes to money, my friend, you need to understand when trend changes, what happens, and how do you stay above the trend. Today you might see that Bitcoin, gold, or Ethereum, or other commodities, but tomorrow there might be new commodities. You see what happened in Ukraine is the war. Why is this? Because of the money? If you truly look into it, it's because of the money. It's the money who control how much land, who has more money, who is wealthier. You take advantage of those situations. So, my friend, try to understand what money, and when is it's a hot money, when it's a cold money, when it's a hard money. And no matter what, you need to be on top of things. As you stay on top of things, you will find, yes, it's truly, it's pleasurable. And then how you can control those money, how can you control your mindset, and how you'll be able to enjoy the journey of being wealthy. I hope this is helpful, and please do share below if this type of things is helpful. As I am going through my own transformation, I thought I'm going to share with you what things I know, and every day I will try to share something. And if not every day, just don't hold me onto it. Join me in my session every week. I do 2-3 sessions online, and come join. Our meetup is, you can look at us at meetup.com, financial freedom for you. Meetup.com, financial freedom for you. And our website, nonprofit organization, is a nonprofit organization website, urbanhood.org. Urban, URBAN, Hood, HOOD.org. I hope to see you, my friend. Thank you. Peace.